All right, let's get straight into it. Welcome to the clinic. If you're studying for your Cambridge Computer Science exams, whether you're tackling the AS and A-level syllabus 9618, or you're laying the groundwork with 0417, 0478, 0983, 0984, or 2210, you are exactly where you need to be. Today, I am putting on my clinical coat and we are operating as senior examiners. Our patient today? A topic that shows up in literally every single examination series. Methods to restrict risks from threats. Look, I know you've put in the hours. You know the theory inside and out. But let's be real. Knowing the textbook and knowing how to extract every single mark available on exam day are two completely different beasts. To show you what I mean, let's look at a real, high-stakes past paper question from the Cambridge archives. Imagine the clock is ticking down. We have two students taking this exam, Alex and Sam. Now, Alex is our classic overloader. Alex memorizes raw computer science facts but provides absolutely zero analysis. When asked about restricting data risks, Alex writes a novel about what encryption is, but never once mentions the company in the question. Then we have Sam. Sam rushes. Sam sees the word firewall, completely ignores the command word evaluate, and just lists basic definitions. Both of them are going to walk out of that exam hall thinking they aced it, and both of them are going to lose massive marks. Today, we are going to diagnose exactly why their answers are failing, and more importantly, I'm going to prescribe the exact cure you need to make sure your answers get full marks. Okay, let's dive into this because this right here is the ultimate pain point for so many focused, hardworking students. This quote comes directly from the principal examiner reports, and it hits the nail on the head. The classic mistake is providing generic answers not specific to the question context. Imagine looking at Alex and Sam's papers side by side. If I took a red pen to them, it would be a bloodbath. Why? Because you can memorize the entire textbook, you can know your symmetric and asymmetric encryption protocols, your packet filtering firewalls, your malware signatures, but then you get the paperback and the marks just aren't there. It's incredibly frustrating. You're thinking, but I wrote down the right facts. Listen to me carefully. Knowing the theoretical facts is only the absolute baseline. The examiners are not just testing your memory like a hard drive. They are testing your processor, your ability to apply those facts to a highly specific, unique scenario. If the question is about a small local business, and you write an answer that could just as easily apply to a multinational bank, you are giving a generic answer. That gap right there, the gap between generic knowledge and contextual application, is exactly where grades drop from an A to a C. But don't worry, because today we're fixing that permanently. Here is our clinical syllabus for today. First, we'll cover core exam principles. Second, technical methodologies. Third, algorithm evaluation. And finally, top examiner warnings. Let's get moving. Section 1. Core exam principles. Diagnosing the problem. To actually beat this exam, you have to understand its theoretical architecture. Passing your Cambridge Computer Science paper isn't about rote memorization, it's about systematic processing. You have to understand how the people grading your paper actually think and operate. They use a framework that targets 3 distinct cognitive domains. Look at the top row, knowledge and understanding. This is your baseline, requiring precise definitions. If you just define what a Trojan horse is, you're sitting here. The second row is application, showing the practical usage of those concepts in a scenario. But that third row? Analysis. That is where the magic happens, and it requires logical, structured reasoning. Examiners explicitly prioritize analytical depth over superficial breadth. They do not want a brain dump of 10 vaguely related facts. They want 3 highly relevant, logically structured points. And this is exactly where top students use the Peel framework, point, evidence, explanation, link. You make your point about a specific security measure, you provide evidence from the scenario, you give a technical explanation of how it restricts the risk, and you link it back to the overall system's integrity. That is how you hit the analysis domain. So, the crucial point is that top-tier candidates simply do not view topics in isolation. The intelligence gathered from the principal examiner reports highlights that students who reference cross-topic connections achieve significantly higher marks. Let's say a question asks about restricting risks from network threats like packet sniffing. A standard answer, maybe Sam's answer, might just say install a firewall and use encryption. But an outstanding answer connects that threat to data structures, discussing the overhead that encryption adds to packet sizes, or linking it to algorithmic efficiency in system lifecycles. It integrates causal relationships across the entire syllabus. Before we continue, subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acexams_IGCS to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now. Doing this ensures you're constantly getting these high-level cross-topic strategies delivered straight to you. Let's keep building those connections. Section 2. Technical Methodologies, the prescription. Now we shift to the practical. We are going to rack up what we call the method mark strategy on those daunting, complex past paper questions. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact procedural sequence you need to follow every single time. Step 1. Deconstruct the question. What is the command word? Is it identify, describe, or evaluate? Step 2. Extract relevant data from the scenario. If it's a school network, write that down. Step 3. Select your analytical framework, like the Peel method we just talked about. Step 4. Execute your analysis with clear, step-by-step working. And Step 5. Present it using precise, correct computer science terminology. Let's look at our students again. If we apply this to Alex and Sam, their lead marks start transforming into green check marks right before our eyes. Sam finally highlights the word evaluate in Step 1, forcing him to provide pros, cons, and a conclusion. Alex finally extracts the company name in Step 2, forcing her to apply her encryption knowledge to the actual context rather than just dumping facts. This isn't just a nice suggestion, this is the literal mechanism by which examiners award method marks. Even if your final conclusion is slightly off, executing this step-by-step process clearly guarantees you pick up process marks along the way. When we translate that methodology specifically into algorithmic thinking to restrict risks, examiners are rigorously looking for these 4 specific pillars. You need step-by-step decomposition, appropriate data structure selection, efficient code implementation, and rigorous testing. This is your computer science success blueprint. A really great memory hack to encode these concepts is to use what I call the visual story method. Take a breath with me, and imagine a literal medieval fortress being built to restrict incoming threats. The decomposition, that's the architect's blueprint, breaking down the problem. The data structures, those are the specific materials you choose to use. Are you using heavy steel or flexible wood? Think of arrays versus linked lists. The efficient code implementation is the actual physical construction of the walls, ensuring there are no weak points or massive resource drains. And finally, the rigorous testing is hiring a team to try and break those walls down, simulating a penetration test on your network. Visualizing this process as a story makes it infinitely easier to recall under the intense pressure of an exam hall. Section 3. Algorithm Evaluation, Surgical Precision. Stop scrolling. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2 to 3 grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to at acetheexams_IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly exam strategy sessions. All right, let's move to our interactive workshop and see how this builds. Why is evaluating algorithmic efficiency so incredibly challenging for students? I want you to look closely at the difference between a superficial answer on the left and a top-scoring evaluated answer on the right. In our first challenge, scan that superficial text. You'll see it identifies a basic similarity between 2 security algorithms and just stops dead. It completely lacks detail. Now find the flaw in it. The flaw is that it doesn't give the examiner any reason to award the higher band marks. In contrast, the top-scoring evaluative answer uses comparative connectives. It uses words like whereas, conversely, or in contrast. It analyzes trade-offs, meaning it specifically acknowledges that gaining processing speed but using a simpler encryption key might mean sacrificing overall security. It acknowledges limitations, and most importantly, it justifies every single decision with evidence from the text. This is surgical precision. Comparative analysis absolutely requires identifying similarities and differences and backing them up with context. When you are specifically evaluating an algorithm's quality to restrict a system risk, these are the exact metrics the examiner's rubric is scanning your paper for. I want you to imagine a 30-second timer counting down right now. If you had to write a perfect Peel paragraph, you need to hit these points. First, time complexity, represented by big O notation. How fast does the security check run as the data scales up? Second, space complexity. How much memory does this algorithm eat up while running? Third, edge cases. How does it handle extreme, invalid, or highly unusual inputs? And ultimately, what is its effect on the overall system performance? Surprisingly, edge cases are where over 60% of students completely drop the ball and lose marks. They test the normal data, but they forget to mention what happens if a hacker inputs a massive string to cause a buffer overflow. If your algorithmic evaluation doesn't explicitly touch on time, space, edge cases, and overall performance, you are leaving crucial, easy marks on the table. Section 4. Top Examiner Warnings. Preventative Care. We have gone directly to the source for this next part. We've combed through years of the Cambridge Principal Examiner reports to gather intelligence. And after analyzing all that data, It turns out there are exactly 3 fatal, completely preventable mistakes that repeatedly surface in these exams year after year. Now, what's really interesting about this cheat sheet recap is how easily you can inoculate yourself against these errors if you stick to our system. Warning number 1 from the examiners: using the wrong formula or algorithm for the given context. This happens when you rush step 1 of our methodology, failing to decode the command word and the scenario. Warning number 2: students constantly forget to check boundary conditions and edge cases when analyzing a threat response. Always ask yourself, what happens at the absolute extremes of this system? And warning number 3, circling all the way back to our opening quote, providing generic answers devoid of specific context. The cure for this is incredibly simple. Before you move on to the next question, look at your answer and ask yourself, could this answer apply to a completely different company or a totally different scenario? If the answer is yes, your answer is too generic. You must link every single point back to the specific names, the specific data, and the specific network architectures mentioned in the prompt. This is your 3-rule system: command word decoding, Peel framework application, and strict time management matrix. Students who implement these computer science strategies see an average improvement of 2 grade boundaries, but only if they practice consistently with our weekly videos. Here's your final reminder. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to at acetheexams_IGCSE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by. Drop a comment below with your target grade for computer science and the biggest challenge you're facing. Our team responds to every comment. Like and share this video with a study partner. Ace the Exams, your Cambridge success starts here. We have laid out the entire clinical diagnosis for you today. You now clearly know the difference between superficial rote knowledge and true analytical depth. You've got the 5-step procedural framework, you've mastered the precise metrics for evaluating algorithms, and you are fully armed against the top 3 traps the examiners lay out for you. So, here is my final provocative challenge to you. Grab a past paper right now. Seriously, do not wait until tomorrow. Look at a complex question on methods to restrict risks and apply this exact systematic framework we just built. Knowing the examiner's diagnostic criteria, how will you adapt your evaluation strategy to guarantee your method marks today? The blueprint for your success is entirely in your hands now. Go apply it, keep pushing for that analytical depth, and I'll see you in the next session.